I'm over here trying to make excuses for him, but I can't. I have no idea. He didn't pull the trigger.
Okay. First off, you don't have to make excuses for him.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't need any excuses. He fought as hard as he could fight last night. He gave it everything that he had. And I thought he put on a really good performance, because I'm being honest, when you take a look at guys in rematches, and when you have a rematch with an older fighter, that the older fighter lost either the first fight or the last fight that they had. When the older fighter loses and then gets the rematch, invariably, it is usually worse for that fighter in that rematch. They usually lose bigger, and he didn't do that. He made up some ground, and he took care of a lot. You could see in the fight how DC was working, actually thinking, and I think this was part of the problem. He was thinking about not doing things that were natural habits for him. And when you're thinking in there in that fashion, that's usually going to slow you down in being offensive and doing things, because you're thinking about, I can't do this, because he's got habits. We talked about those habits, and you could see him shutting those habits down. Every now and then it would present itself, and then he would pull it back and shut it down. He did a very good job of protecting his body. He got hit with some body shots, but his hands stayed tight. He wasn't reaching out all the time. He did it, a little bit, but I really look and say, man, he put on a great performance against a guy that's a stud. You got to admit, Stipe is a stud, man. He has got a chin. He can take shots. He can wrestle. He's athletic. It's not like Daniel lost to a guy that he shouldn't lose to. It is an even fight going in, and there's a 50% chance in that fight that you can win, and there's a 50% chance that you can lose. And on this night, he came out on the short end of it, but he has nothing to feel bad about. He should be proud of his performance. He got poked in the eye with that one. That did limit him in some ways, because, yes, he can see out of his right eye, but his left eye was damaged, and he's saying he couldn't see out of it at all. I believe him. It's unfortunate that it happened. It was one eye poke apiece, and that can happen, but he has nothing to feel bad about. He's had an incredible career. I do hope that he walks away.
Me too.
And continues on as an ambassador to the sport, continues on as a commentator. He has done remarkable things with this part of his life in the MMA world, and he should be very proud of everything he's done.
Yeah, people don't realize that he hasn't been doing this that long. And when he came into Strikeforce, he's wrestling, but I'm sure he has a wrestling pedigree. But the thing is, when he came into Strikeforce, like, they threw him basically right away into that tournament where he ended up fighting, Josh Barnett, Bigfoot Silva. Like, he fought guys that were heavyweights that were considered some of the best in the world at the time. It just, he's done so much in such a short period of time. And I tip my hat to him. I congratulate him. I do agree with you, though. I hope that he is done. I hope that this is it. And there's
too many other things for him to do.
Yeah.
And he's set. He doesn't need, to sit there and say,
no doubt.
Could he use the money? Sure. Everyone, I guess, could use more money, but is it necessary for him to have a good life? No, it's not.
He's making pretty good money as a commentator.
And he's going to make very good money commentating. That is a career unto itself that he can do very well at. There's no reason to get punched in the face anymore. There comes that point where it's just not worth it. You have other things you can do. You have done everything in the fight world that anyone could ask. You've been an incredible champion. He's won multiple titles in different, promotions and everything. So amazing career. Yeah. Congratulations, DC. Love you. Time to fucking just start talking about fighters.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was the pressure of the fight with Stipe. I don't know if what happened throughout the fight. To me, he didn't look like he was willing to pull the trigger. He threw some shots. I think he was. I don't know if there was the mind on his mind was that this is my last fight. I don't know. But Stipe, all that aside, Stipe fought a great fight. He fought a good fight. He fought a smart fight. He did what he needed to do. He didn't go to the body too much, like to the well too much. He touched him every once in a while to remind him that it's there. He did a great job. He did. And then the one thing that DC DC didn't lean to that side like we were talking about. He tried to avoid leaning always to the right.
Yes, he did.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, because I had a feeling that Stipe was like, from the first fight, even from the first and the second fight, that he was going to start trying to go to the knee on that side. In the first round, you saw that DC wasn't leaning that way. So Stipe kind of went away from leaning, like from throwing the knee to that side. So I thought Stipe made adjustments throughout the fight that benefited him. I didn't have it 2-2 going into the fifth. Did you?
No,
I didn't either. I had him winning one round. I think it was 3-1 going into the fifth.
I had DC winning the fourth round.
Yeah, I think that it might have been that.
I thought the first round was close, and DC had that one really good shot right near the end of the round, and you saw Stipe, but Stipe didn't go down from it, but it damaged him. But there was too many shots that Stipe had landed before that were heavy shots that it couldn't make up to give DC the round. But it was close. The second round was obvious. DC got clipped. He got hurt. Yeah. He was mounted against the fence in that. So that round goes to him. Third round was Stipe. But fourth round, Daniel was doing good things. And it was just like you said, not, this was in no way a run over. All these rounds, except for the second round. Yeah. All the rounds were fairly close.
And I had the second round going to DC until he got dropped.
Oh, DC was winning the round.
Yeah, I had him winning.
We were texting, and I go, dude, he just, he was winning that round. He just lost it.
Yeah,
but that can happen. That's part of fighting. Again, he's got nothing to feel bad about. Nothing. No. I mean, I know it hurts. I know, man, because look you're the guy walking in that cage. You're the guy that all the eyes are on. You're the guy that now has to explain, what happened, and there's nothing to feel bad about. It's like the old Teddy Roosevelt. It's not the critic that counts. It's the guy who actually steps in that ring, the guy who's got the blood and sweat and dust on his face. That's the guy. That's DC. He's that guy. He will always be in that rarefied air of a guy who did it, a guy who walked the walk. He's not that timid soul that was only able to talk about it and make critiques or criticize. Yeah. He's got nothing to feel bad about in his entire MMA career. I mean, he's been fantastic.
Good spokesperson for the sport. He's a good, great analyst, good spokesperson for the sport. We talked to Corey Anderson. Corey said how much he opened his eyes. DC opened his eyes to like how the business works. Also, and that's being a mentor, and that's really
just like what you're saying. That's what DC is supposed to do.
Yeah,
because he's that guy, man. He's done it, and he's the leader out there. And guys like Corey need to hear those things from DC. Now, DC, when he gets on, a media thing or is talking, he's going to kind of go the company route,
of course,
as far as trying to pump up the UFC. That's his employer. That's his job. He should. But when he's talking with the fighters themselves, guys that are helping him train and stuff, he's giving them the truth, and he's telling them the right things about, hey, I know you'd like to have that title and you're good enough, but I'm telling you, you're fighting for the wrong thing if that's what your aim is at. This is a business, and you have to be a business, and God bless DC for doing that for those guys, because he opens their eyes and he makes them realize what is the important part of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's a lot for him, I think, to take in. Last fight, just he's confirmed that he's pretty much done. And I hope he is. I hope he is done. I saw a little bit of, I think, being an older fighter myself, I saw a little bit of what I didn't want to see out of someone. Like in the first and the second fight, he didn't seem older. This fight, I don't know if it's because there was no crowd, whatever it is. He seemed a little bit slower, a little step behind, and just things weren't getting there as easy as they were, I think, in the first two fights. And it's time. It's just time. It really just comes down to that. He had a great career. I'm glad I was part of every little bit of it, and I'm happy for him. Man, the guy makes a killing being a commentator. I'm not even gonna get into that, but Yeah, he's got a good life. He's got a good life, and he's a hustler, and he'll continue to be successful in whatever it is he does.